Hey YouTube, I'm back. So I wanted to come on and do this quick video about Colin Kaepernick and the controversy, that's going on with him about the whole national anthem thing. And before anybody gets to my comment asking me why am I talking about current events, like this instead of sticking to biblical, issues, it's because that this is part of my testimony. And I've already shared some of this in my other videos. And what happened with his situation ties directly into what I learned when I came into the truth. And my nose is bothering me. This is crazy. So let me pause. So, yeah, when I came into the truth about propaganda and what's going on in the government. And so I've already shared that I'm an 8-year Army veteran, and um, when I was all in, patriot, nationalist, believe in the flag, believe in the national anthem, just 100, all of it. So I kind of understand what's going on both sides. Like for the people, who are mad at him, and for those of us, who agree with what he is doing. So but I do want to put out a challenge to those people who are, I mean, just ridiculously upset with this man. They're calling this man niggers, and all other kind of names. They're talking about his biological father, abandoning him without talking about his white mother, giving him up, for adoption. Like either one of the parents was a stellar example of parenthood. So I mean, I don't understand why they talking about the black father without, and just really ignore, what's going on with the mom. And just really just crazy. And what it is showing is this kind of stuff that I've really been talking about too, about nationalism and what happens, when you put that flag in that level of position. It's like an idol. So that's where we are. And any Christians. And I, was on like on YouTube looking at some stuff, today, looking at a few videos. And, I ran into some Christians, that's all up in their feelings, about this whole flag business. And it's really a sad commentary, man. I mean, really? Y'all don't, it is so enmeshed. The propaganda that has been done to us in this country is so, it's just so entrenched in our brains that you can't, it's an emotional response that people are having, about this when it really should be, about looking at this man's rights. So even if you don't agree with his position, it's legal for him to take this position. And I don't understand why people can't grasp that. So, and it really kind of highlights the issues of race that are happening in this country. I mean, a lot of, white people will sit up and talk about, that he's bringing up race, but they're bringing it up. So it's like being in a world where people are blind to themselves. And it's sad because as a veteran, because I hear the argument, well, what about the veterans? What about the everybody that died, and what about the people, the soldiers over there giving up their lives? What I was willing to sacrifice my life for? Freedom. So that he would be able to have this opportunity in freedom to live under the Constitution. Not so, that some homage could be paid to me. I mean, I'm trying to help the country, continue to live, and so people can continue to live freely and be able to enjoy all the privileges, that the Constitution affords us. That's what people are joining the military for that I know of. So, and a lot of people, in my opinion, say stuff like that, and they didn't even serve. So, I mean, if you didn't serve, you really don't have an opinion about what you think veterans and what armed service members, may feel about someone like him making this level of stand. It's really not your place. So it's really confusing. But one of the things that I really wanted to say about the action that he is taking and how I really appreciate it is, I've always kind of wondered, why people, high profile people like a Tim Tebow. I mean, that joker is crickets. You can't get him to say nothing about the stuff that's going on today. Nothing. He's so concerned about his brand that he says nothing. And the silence to me is deafening. And you know what? When the Lord calls him to get out here and preach, oh, that's gonna change. And it's gonna bring a lot of problems, to him. But he's gonna have to open up his mouth. Something apparently he doesn't want to do. And that, makes me even more admirable of a person, like Colin Kaepernick. He doesn't he from what he's saying, he's not allowing um the negative consequences that may come as a result, of the stand that he's taking. He's saying that he thought about all that and he's still managing to take that stand anyway. I mean, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. So for Christians out there, I hope this is an opportunity for you guys to wake up to the idolatry that the government is. I mean, and maybe I'll go ahead and put this in here because I already have said to a couple of people that I'm going to share the video with them. And I want to be able to kind of expound upon what I'm saying. And what I said earlier to someone was that the American government, that government over there in Washington, D.C., it is a satanic government that has been sold to us as something something patriotic, something good, something for the people. And that government existed up until John F. Kennedy. After John F. Kennedy, that government doesn't exist anymore. And for some reason, people just refuse to wake up to that fact. So what you're being exposed to now is corruption. That government in Washington has always been corrupt, but over time and what we are and where we are today, that's not, God doesn't have anything to do with that government. If he has anything to do with it, it's to keep what is going on at bay. Because from what I'm learning, if they could have it the way that they want it, we already be at another stage closer to tyranny by now. And it's already coming. It's coming fast. And this is another opportunity that I really appreciate this guy for, because we need to wake up. And I've been saying this over and over again in these videos. So the other thing that I'm understanding that Christians just refuse to understand about the environment that they're living in. God bless America. You really believe that? Do you really believe that the Lord is still blessing America, and that that flag and that national anthem have anything to do with any blessings that he would bestow upon this country? God is not a nationalist. He is not. If he was a nationalist, his nation is the nation of Israel. And I'm not talking about that snake pit that's over there in Jerusalem right now. I'm talking about the people of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those people constitute the nation of Israel. And Christians, they go blind to the evidence that sits inside of the gospel. And I was actually reading over the Sabbath, and Paul talks about being an Israelite. Can't get them jokers to see that. He has, and I'll put the scripture in the description box. You can go look at it, for yourself. But yeah, I mean, that's your heritage. Your heritage is not Christianity, and it sure ain't wrapped around that flag. Yeah. So Christians are so blind. Turkeys. Christians are blind turkeys. And when I was looking at some of the comments that Christians were making today about this situation, it just really highlighted how ridiculous they are. And I am extra thankful every day that the Lord showed me the truth about religion. And I'll repeat myself again because I think I'm gonna send this video to Colin Kaepernick. So I want to be able to lay this out and give him an opportunity to find out the truth as well. All religion is fake. I don't believe in any religion, especially the major three. Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are all fake, man-made religions that won't show you the pathway to the Father. And again, I'm going to repeat this, for him. And for those in Islam, because I've heard that he is either a new convert to Islam or he's, like learning, about Islam. Genesis 17 is one of the places in the Bible, and I put the other verse in the description box as well. But where God promises Abraham that 12 princes are going to come out of the line of Ishmael. And I understand Ishmael's line to be that of the Muslim faith, Islamic faith. How he's going to accomplish that, I don't know. But what I do understand is that salvation lies within the teachings of Jesus. And you don't have to be a Christian in order to access that information. So if the Lord leads him to look at this video, I'm going to send it, to his Twitter. And I'm really going to pray the power of the Holy Spirit that he'll get this message and that he will do some research, do some education. And, you're free, Colin. If you want to, give me contact me. I'll be, more than happy to share with you, what I'm learning. And then you can look at my videos, So, is that it? I want to make sure that I did this. Oh, okay. Yeah, so just kind of wrap this up. I wanted to Mark Dice. Now, I've talked about Mark Dice on a couple of my other videos. And this video that he did about Kaepernick was ridiculous. And it's an embarrassment. It should be an embarrassment to the body of Christ. And any Christian, that has ever supported anything that came out Mark Dice's mouth. He's the epitome of a Nazi nationalist. And there's nothing about him that worships Jesus. I've given him, some credit for some of the information that he's posted. But I didn't know this about him. I didn't know that his heart was as black as it is. And that I'm going to put that video in the description box as well. And I invite you to go and look at it. And just the hatefulness, and it's ridiculous because what the man did was legal. There was nothing illegal about what he did. And this is the other thing, that I wrote down, that what he did and the reaction that I'm seeing, from people, it's really the same thing that happened with Muhammad Ali. And that was ridiculous. When I went back and looked and really researched with the stuff that Muhammad Ali had to go through and the ridiculous, that man was getting death threats because he didn't want to go fight legitimately in a war that had absolutely nothing to do with him. And that's another thing, I found out and why, I would encourage people not to join the military. If I had, my way, that's what I would do. Anybody that asks me about joining the military, I'm going to discourage you from doing it. I don't care whether you're a Christian, whether you follow Jesus, or not. Never going to do that because the whole thing is propaganda. And I encourage you to investigate Major Smedley Butler. I put that video in the description box as well, again, because I think it's so important. And what he was talking about in that video is the same thing that's going on in the military today. They're using your children. They're using your sons and daughters to go and raid other countries for corporations so that they can go make money and fleece them and go in and take their resources and enslave them, have them in there making Air Jordans and all kinds of stuff, Kim Kardashian craziness, for pennies, for nothing. a day. They're working in there all day for nothing. And that's what the government is doing. They're recolonizing the world, and they're doing it under capitalism. Now, what they're calling it globalism. So nothing has changed. And I would, the day, I just wish that the Lord would just wake people up to what's going on. It's hard living in a country where people are just in a coma willingly. You try and tell people this information, and they get mad at you. That's how crazy it is. But I really, just looked at it. Took the Supreme Court to free Muhammad Ali from the backlash and the hatred and the small mindedness that was going on in this country. And what is happening today shows me that we haven't really learned anything in this country. And I don't get that. I mean, what's the point? If we're not learning anything, if we're not evolving as human beings and becoming better people, what's the point? I mean, we could just go ahead and have World War III right now and just nuke us. We're not learning anything. We're not becoming better people. And I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that right now. So the other thing that I really wanted to bring out before I close out this video is a lot of people were talking about how much money this guy was making in the NFL. They think that he is being disingenuous to talk about the plight of those who have no voice, who are facing even more oppression. I mean, he's not economically oppressed, but as others are. But in my opinion, just because you got money does not mean that you're not oppressed. The NFL and all those professional organizations, in my opinion, that's just a professional plantation. That's what it is. So, I mean, this is what people don't understand, and especially people who, rely upon capitalism and money to to make some kind of a statement and put, it on this foundation of importance. And there are a lot of rich people that are just as oppressed in a lot of ways that we don't know about. And this is like a micro. This is a slice into that. When you see people that are telling him that just because he's making $19 million, that he needs to be happy with that and shut up and not talk about the stuff that's going on around him. And one of the things biblically that this kind of reminded me of is Moses and how he saw the plight of his people, the Hebrew, people, Israel, and how he walked away from being a pharaoh to stand with the people that were of his heritage. And I really wish this guy, that the hand of God, would be over him and protect him and would really strengthen him. And I'm really in prayer that he doesn't have to suffer, what Muhammad Ali suffered. That would be a shame. And then that would really make me even more embarrassed and disgusted with America and where it is and, where it's headed. What Christians and non-believers, those who just don't want to acknowledge slavery and the history of this country, these are chickens that are coming home to roost. This is another reason why they didn't want black people to learn how to read. Because once we find out and we go back and look into history and we start looking and putting pieces and stuff together about the different forms of oppression that have been happening to us, now with the things that have been going on with police blatantly killing people and then not being held to account for it, I just don't even know. I mean, even a dog will bite you. A dog will bite you if you abuse it, to the point. So, history is teaching me that in order for people to understand what it feels like to be oppressed and to have empathy and compassion for those in oppression, they have to become oppressed. That's a shame. But like I said, we're sliding into tyranny. So everybody, who is wants to sit up and wrap themselves around in that flag will have an opportunity to understand that the government and the symbol that you think that it represents really doesn't represent that at all. So I just wanted to, try to make this video. I'm gonna watch it, and hopefully it's something I can use. And like I said, I would like to be able to send this to Mr. Kaepernick, and I want to again just really give him a salute, you know, and just let him know how much I really appreciate his effort, and I wish more people would use their voice to help and to bring change and to bring awareness. So I guess that's going to be it. And until the next video.